Mr. Rajesh Bhatia, who's the CFO of UFlex. The company has posted a consolidated loss after tax of 416 odd crore rupees in this quarter. However, this was largely due to an exceptional item. Mr. Bhatia, welcome to Business Today TV. Sakshi Desai, and with me is also my colleague Shail Bhatnagar. My first question to you is about this exceptional item you took in this quarter gone by, which led to a loss in June quarter. Do you see this as a one-off, or could this also continue in the coming quarters?
I think we'll have to wait and watch as to how the things emerge because Nigeria recently depegged its currency from a central bank related exchange, given exchange rate to a market parity. So there may be some more surprises in the next quarters or a few. All also depends on as to how the dollar behaves. Internationally, we've seen that in many jurisdictions we are present. We've seen the dollar shortage, like, last year, Egypt was the key in terms of the losses we took on account of the devaluation of Egyptian pound versus the dollars. So I think both things are playing a part. One is removal of a fixed peg by Central Bank of Nigeria and the dollar availability in many of these, upcoming economies. I'll keep my fingers crossed over the next few quarters as I see the exchange parity stabilizing.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Bhatia. A brief about UFlex. It's selling flexible packaging solutions in India and is the maker of BOPET films. These are biaxially oriented polyethylene tetraethylate films, which you see on window screens, on your car screens, etc. Mr. Bhatia, welcome to Business Today Television. It's been a very bad phase for the entire industry. You are no exception. When do you see the overall flexible packaging industry turning around? We've seen pretty bad numbers coming in from the entire sector, and yours just showed a net loss.
So I think we'll have to split this problem into two. One is India and other is the global. So while India is a clear case of bunching of capacities at one point in time in the current year, beginning with, I would say, about 6 to 8 months ago. Overseas, it's a problem. Europe and America, particularly, which are very large markets for us, and we have manufacturing facilities as well as we trade in a lot of product over there as well. So there, it's a structural issue what we are facing. So there is a lack of consumption because in Europe the energy prices have gone up, the mortgage costs have gone up, and in US with the quantitative tightening as well as the rising interest rates, it's affecting the consumption in some ways as the consumers align their budgets to pay more for the mortgages and for the energy in Europe and pay for the more of the mortgages in USA and coupled with the high inflation in US. So if we all believe that the increase in the Fed led interest rate is coming to an end, I think we'll see the light in the next 1 or 2 quarters. India, let's talk about India. India, there are few plants which got bunched together, and that's why we are seeing a bit of overcapacity, which is leading to these crash in prices. I think that will get adjusted in next 3 to 6 months time or so because we typically seen that India, on an average, can accommodate 2 new capacities coming on stream in a particular year. So I think that is another maximum 3 months kind of a thing that we see. BOPP already we see that the prices have been better in this quarter as compared to last quarter. But the PET, BOPET is what is keenly we are all watching. And being an industry leader along with the other industry players, we sure that this position gets corrected in about 3 months' time.
Mr. Bhatia, of course, this quarter, the quarter gone by, was hit by a one-time charge on your balance sheet and P&L account. In the subsequent quarters, do you see UFlex turning positive? The reason why I ask this is we've seen very deep undervaluation on the entire sector. I mean, 14,000 crores is your top line, and market capitalization is just 2,700 crores. The market is completely ignoring the sector. What would be your forecast for the coming 3 quarters as far as UFlex's bottom line is concerned, sir?
I think if we see this quarter, we saw about 9.3% EBITDA margin on a top line of about 3,300 odd crores. So I think as our the Harvard facility got commissioned from 1st of April, and that's why in India we've seen a 22% volume growth in the Q1 over on a YOY basis. We will also see uptick in demand in the in the global markets. So overall, I think given this exception loss kept aside, I think for the year as a whole, we'll definitely be, into the profits. I hope that the margin profile improves from about 9.3% currently to about 12% for a year as a whole basis. And we see the silver lining at least in H2. So that's what we feel that should be the order of the FY24 for us.
Okay. Could you also talk to us about your debt reduction plans going forward?
Debt reduction is happening on its own. We have when we go do any capex projects and all that. So there are certain amortization schedules which are there as part of that debt that we raise. So that's happening. That's about 500 crores happening each year for us. But because we are also constantly expanding and adding new capacity, which means you are adding more of the top line as well as the bottom line. So if we see ourselves 5 years before and now, I think we more than doubled in our top line as well as the profitability. So while the debt is being added, I think we are looking very cautiously that we do not get saddled with an extra debt what is non-sustainable. So we very conscious of that, and we'll take care of that. Having said that, about 500 to 600 crore is the annual amortization of the debt, which will keep on happening. But having said that, wherever there are opportunities to grow in our field, I think we'll have to look at those growth plans. Aseptic packaging, particularly if you've seen that, we've hit our capacity constraints in the current year for what we can supply. The market has been also soft this year for the aseptic packaging, given that, we had early monsoon this year, which means that, the demand for any liquid juices or drinks and all that goes down. But we also had a capacity constraint. We could do on that. So by the end of this fiscal, we'll have our capacity expanded to about 12 billion packs a year, which is by debottlenecking our existing facility only at a small capex. So I think once that comes in next year, we will, if we see about 12 billion packs a year selling from this business, I think that will add more to the revenues, because there the margin profile is much better than the flexible packaging as well as the packaging films. So overall, that business looks very promising. And once we achieve a 12 billion capacity and we are able to sell that capacity, so obviously in the current plant, then there is no further, sort of debottlenecking opportunities available. So we'll have to then look at in a couple of years, probably from now, look at fresh investments in some of these businesses where we are running at a very high capacity utilization levels.
So, Mr. Bhatia, is there any possibility of the demerger of your packaging business also from your film business? Because that has also been something that the state has been watching out for a long time.
I think that's not on the cards as of now because both the business complement each other. Like India per se, if you see our packaging films business, and given that we are the largest flexible packaging company in the country also, so there is a lot of internal consumption also happening. In that. What we were planning to do rather about a year back was to look at a US listing, which we had to defer because of the markets, didn't support us. But at an opportune time, we will definitely look at that opportunity again. And the valuation play in the global markets is far better than what we see how the India markets, sort of values all the companies in this segment, but especially,
Right.
the packaging film segment. So I think that will be a game changer. We thought so that, that will be the best because we have a substantial business overseas. Our overseas business itself is close to about $1 billion today. And that's a very substantial business.
Right. Mr. Bhatia, what is your existing capacity utilization overall, and how much of fresh capacity are you going to add in this financial year?
So this financial year, I don't think so. We are adding any further capacity. By the end of this fiscal, we would have done the aseptic debottlenecking from current capacity of about 7 billion packs to about 12 billion packs. Whatever capacities had to come on the packaging film side, they are already implemented. And as I said that from 1st of April we commissioned our Dharwad project in Karnataka. So there are no further large capacities which are coming on stream. There is a backward integration facility which we are setting up in Panipat for making the resin polyester chips at Panipat, which will cater to our domestic as well as the international facilities. So that will
Right, sir.
happen probably by the end of this fiscal as well.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Bhatia, for your time. And we sincerely hope that the coming 3 quarters would see UFlex, India's largest flexible packaging company, report a green tick on its bottom line.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.